السلام عليكم. Welcome back to another episode of Quran in English. My name is Ahmed, and I'm happy to take you through the next section of Surah Fussilat, the chapter of the explanation. We were talking about the inhabitants of hell, but before I get into that, let me explain what I'm doing. I'm here to learn about the Quran, read it in Arabic, discuss it in English, share my learning and understanding with you, because that's the best way for me to learn, and for me to want to learn. So this is my learning journey. This is my that I'm sharing with you. If you like this type of content, feel free. But I will make mistakes. If you want it to be perfect, I mean, nothing's going to be perfect from the get go. If you want me to take a different perspective, then this is not exactly the best way to do it. But that being said, if you drop a comment, please feel free. If you have an understanding of something that I may not, I would love to learn from you. I'd love to listen to your perspective, and I would appreciate it. But yeah, education journey. Not gonna make mistakes. If you're okay with that, then hang out. All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقيض وقيضنا لهم قرن وقيضنا لهم قرناء فزينوا لهم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم وحق عليهم القول في قد خلت من قبلهم من الجن والإنس إنهم كانوا خاسرين. And we decreed upon them, or we destined upon them, we decreed upon them companions that made it seem appealing to them what was between their hands. So they had companions that made them think that whatever was in front of them, their money, their power, their wealth, their whatever it was, they made it seem more appealing to them. And what was behind them, what was in front of them, what was behind them. And then came true upon them the word. Here they say justified was the word. Now I feel like it came true is the way that it's the evoked feeling that I'm getting. The word among the word that was among nations that had passed from before them from jinn and men. There were many nations of jinn and men that had the decree upon them, the word that had come to pass, the judgment that had come to pass, the justice, and that came to those who went to hell. So this is what we were talking about previously. They went to hell. So they had companions that made their deeds seem, here they said misdeeds. It didn't say misdeeds. It just said what is between their hands and what is from behind them. Justified. It is understood that they are misdeeds, but it is not exactly expressed that they're misdeeds. Just what was in front of them, what was behind them. And because they ended up in hell, you understand it to be misdeeds. You had companions that made it seem good. And then it befell upon them what had befallen over. Interesting that it says jinn and men. So it's talking about a previous time, because there was an understanding that the earth had jinn before it had humans. I'm not sure where I got that piece of information from. All we know from this verse, in the context of this verse, is that there were in the past jinn and human that had a decree upon them that has happened to those who went to hell. And indeed, they were losers. Here, associating others in worship with God and denying the hereafter. Could be other things, could be less things, could be abuse, murder, rape. I mean, I don't know. We don't know what it is. We just know that they did something, and it was made to seem good to them by their companions. وقال الذين كفروا لا تسمعوا لهذا القرآن والغوا فيه لعلكم تغلبون. This confused me. والغوا فيه لعلكم تغلبون. And the ones who disbelieve said, do not listen to this Quran and make noise in it so that you may overcome it. Go la 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 so you can overcome it. Which, when I was reading this, it felt like they were describing the word, but I put it like 16 ways from Sunday. Oh, did I delete it? History. Yeah. And speak nonsense therein so that you may prevail. For some reason my brain was reading this Arabic differently, but I trust obviously these translators more than me sometimes, not always, but I do. Yeah, so here they're just saying make noise so that you may overcome the Quran, the what we are reading. Now here I agree that the Quran refers to what we are reading. There's another reference in these verses that I disagree with what they're saying, but we'll get there. فلنذيقن الذين كفروا عذابا شديدا ولنجزينهم أسوأ الذي كانوا يعملون. We will make them taste, the ones who disbelieved, we will make them taste a punishment, a torment that is severe, and we will recompense them the worst of what they used to do. We will make them, we will surely make them get what they deserve, essentially. Well, get what they deserve from the worst of what they used to do, very specifically. ذلك جزاء أعداء الله النار لهم فيها دار الخلد جزاء بما كانوا بآياتنا يجحدون. That is the reward, the recompense of the enemies of God, which is fire. It's always this grammar confuses. That is the reward of the punishment, the enemies of God. Fire. The fire. Why wouldn't you say the fire is the reward? I don't understand. But maybe it's a grammatical Arabic thing that I will not get. Because here they're saying the fire, and then they're saying it as if it's continued for the sentence. But for the sign above it, it's like, yeah, it prefers to continue, but you can't stop. ذلك جزاء أعداء الله النار لهم فيها دار الخلد جزاء بما كانوا بآياتنا يجحدون. So if you read it continuously, it says, that is the recompense for the enemies of God. The fires for them, their home is for eternity as a recompense. Yeah, that's why I feel like it's two different sentences. Recompense. Anyway, recompense about why they used to reject our verses, the denial of our verses. And like, this is not just like disagree with, but like actively refuse. Yeah, I feel like having this in my hand, because I feel like having it back straight. Yeah. وقال الذين كفروا ربنا أرنا الذين أضل. 1 second. Yeah, I'm not feeling too great today. I don't know. When am I feeling great? Okay. وقال الذين كفروا ربنا أرنا الذين أضلانا من الجن والإنس نجعلهما تحت أقدامنا ليكونا من الأسفلين. And those who disbelieved will say, Our Lord, show us those who misled us from the jinn and from the men, and from humans, not men, from humans. So that we may put them under our feet, so that they may be of the lowest of the lowest. Now here they're saying in hell, but because the understanding is this is after judgment has passed, and they realize that they've made mistakes, so they're like, okay, show us those who misled us, let us put them below our feet. Now, I thought the response here was going to be, well, you can't do that, it's too late. But then it just jumps to a different topic for some reason. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وابشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. Yeah. I mean, it just describes what the disbelievers will cry out, and then moves on. Just to let us know what they're crying out. I don't understand why this is the case, but it continues by saying, indeed, those who say our Lord is God, and then they stand firm or they do right. Will descend upon them the angels, that they do not be afraid and do not grieve, and give good tidings of paradise, that which you were promised. especially at the time of their death. I mean, I'm getting the indication that this is not necessarily at the time of their death, but this is a judgment day. Does this make sense at the time of death? Maybe. I do not know. It does not say when this happens. It does not say if it's time of death or judgment day. But both explanations make sense. But I just don't know. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة ولكم فيها ما تشتهي أنفسكم ولكم فيها ما تدعون. We are your protectors in the life of the world and in the hereafter, and for you is in whatever you desire, for your souls, and for you therein which? The world or the hereafter? It is understood that there you will have the what. It is understood that it is the hereafter, because in this world you do not have whatever you desire for yourselves. And in it is whatever you desire for your souls, and in it for you is what you ask. What is the difference between what you ask for and whatever your souls desire? The difference is there are some things that your soul desires that you do not ask for, yet you get. One is what you ask for, and one is what you desire. But then, what about intercession? Not everybody has intercession. Shafa'ah. Does everybody get that in heaven? Can you ask for forgiveness for those that you love that were lost astray? Are there no limits in heaven, is the question. نزلا من غفور رحيم. A revelation, a hospitable gift, something that is brought down to you from the oft forgiving and most merciful. ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. This is where I disagree with the translation, but we'll get it in a second. And who is better than the one who is better in speech than the one who invites or who invokes, who calls towards God and does good deeds and says, indeed, I am of the ones who submit. That is what the word literally means. Muslimin literally means those who submit. Literally, Muslims is incorrect. When this Quran was revealed, it was not talking about the people that will follow Muhammad and the Quran. It was talking about those who submit. The identity of Muslim didn't exist at the time of the Prophet. Eventually, they started being called the Muslims because they were the ones who submit, and that was supposed to be their action. And the trait that defines them is the people who submit, or it used to define them. I don't think it defines them now. But when the Quran was revealed, it was not the identity of Muslims as the word, but literally it means those who submit. That's what Muslimin means. I wonder if I take this, would it say Muslims? It does say Muslims. In a modern day settings, that's what it means, but that's only because modern day we separate Jews, Christians, and Muslims instead of... Okay. But the point being, it literally means the one who submits, does not literally mean the Muslims as we understand it today, especially not when this Quran was revealed. ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة. ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. The good deed nor the bad deed are not equal. Now here it took me, I had to read this so many times before I understood what it was saying. It says repel or pay by that which is better. Now the reason why it says pay, repel isn't the right word because it doesn't make sense in this context. Respond is more correct. But pay is the literal word. The concept is you get something, you give something. It's not just, so that's why respond is closer to that, because it's a give and give, but pay is the accurate. So like for the bad deed, I'm going to buy your bad deed with a good deed. You know what I mean? That's what it is expressing. Pay for that which is better. Then behold, the one between you and him, which you have enmity, rivalry, a fight, and anger. If you pay back good for the bad that you have received, the one that you have enmity between you and him will become as if he was a friend that was intimate. The grammar confused the hell out of me, but it took me a while. Your enemy, if you repay their hatred with something kind, then it will be as if you were close friends. Now, there is a caveat. This won't work for everybody. And here's the caveat. وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم. And it is not granted except for those who are patient, and it is not granted except for the owner of the fortune that is great. You have to be both patient and fortunate, which is like, huh? Being good to someone that is your enemy who has paid you with something terrible, and being good to them will only turn them into a close friend if you are both patient and lucky. Like, that is, what is it saying? But I think that's kind of what describes the world that we're living in today, you know? There's something strange about this world. Not only do you have to be patient, but you also have to be lucky to turn misfortune and an enemy into a friend through good deeds. Whew. Crazy. وَإِمَّا يَنزَعَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْعٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Oh, sorry, wrong word. وَإِمَّا يَنزَغَنَّكَ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ نَزْغٌ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. And when a whisper comes to you from the devil, as an evil suggestion, like when the devil whispers in your ear, shh, what about this, what about that, fuck this person's angry, this blah, 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 whatever the whisper is, be mean, be angry, be selfish, be this, then what you should do is you should seek refuge with God. فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ, say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, which means I seek refuge from God, from the devil. Indeed, he is the all-hearing and all-knowing. He alone is the all-hearing and all-knowing. Which is a bit hard, because it's not always easy to know when this comes to you. Sometimes you're like, no, but the person is being an asshole. No, it's their fault, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, my Wi-Fi has been struggling. Okay, 47 is where we end, but we were at 36. Yeah. All right. It's not always easy to find out when the devil is whispering to you, especially because your ego also makes it seem to you like, no, that person is being a poop person. Anyway. ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. And of his signs is the night and the day and the sun and the moon, and do not prostrate or bow before the sun nor the moon, but prostrate to God, the one who created them, if you are really worshiping him alone. Which I struggle to understand who this verse is for, because this, for me, makes the most sense in the world. But the things that come up to mind are the pagans that somehow understand that there is a source of everything, and somehow understand, call it God, call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, that all of it comes from a source, and that all of these things, the sun, the moon, and everything else. They're like, yeah, I know there's a great creator, but I'm worshiping this thing in the middle. I think that's the kind of distinction. And this thing can be the moon, the sun, as much as it can be anything else. فإن استكبروا فالذين عند ربك يسبحون له بالليل والنهار وهم لا يسأمون. But if they were arrogant, then the ones who are near your Lord glorify him night and day, and they do not tire. Which is like, okay, so the first thing that comes to mind is like angels. So it is not mentioned that they're angels, but the first thing that does come to mind is that they are angels. But if they were arrogant, and who's they? Yeah, it doesn't say the pagans. It says, but if they are arrogant. It also kind of implies. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused in general. But if they were arrogant, then those who are near your Lord glorify him by night and by day, and they do not tire. Okay, so why does this make sense? If people are arrogant, let's theoretically take the word angels. It's not mentioned. If people are arrogant, there are angels by God that worship him day and night when they do not tire. Okay, what does that have to do with the people? Is it saying that God doesn't need you because he's got the angels, but then God doesn't need the angels either? So it's not driven by need. Like if you don't do your work, someone else will do their work. Where's the connection between the two? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Yeah, here it says let them know, but like even if you let them know, what those that don't worship God, why is it relevant that somebody close to God worships them? I don't know, this confuses me. ومن آياته أنك ترى الأرض خاشعة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت إن الذي أحياها لمحيي الموتى إنه على كل شيء قدير. And from among his signs that you see the earth barren, and then when he sends down upon it water, it shakes, it stirs, and it grows. Water brings it back to life. Indeed, the one who gives it life is surely the one who will give life to the dead. Indeed, he is of everything all powerful. It's like a lot of times I want to play the devil's advocate in that concept, and say, okay, I've seen the earth be barren and then rain brings it back to life, but I haven't seen someone coming back from dead. So it's easy for me to understand the first part, but not to understand the second part. But that's just me and my processing. I mean, there is also kind of the older I get, the more that I am amazed by the wonder of the world. Mishan Allah, please work. You know, I'm thinking of just disconnecting the internet access for a second so that this doesn't keep happening. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. Something strange is. But anyway. The more that I go on with life, the more that I realize the power and majesty of the sun and the power and majesty of the rain. In the beginning, I was like, why is this so important? As we're approaching kind of global warming, you're noticing just a little bit more sun than usual in the Netherlands, and like plants start dying everywhere and the grass starts dying. You're like, whoa, what is happening? Like if it was just a little bit hotter than what you'd expect, everything just starts drying out. But then when it rains a little bit, everything kind of comes back to life. And you kind of see that we're kind of A, in balance, and B, at any moment, that balance can be shifted in either direction and everything kind of falls apart. You don't realize how finely balanced we really are until it all goes to hell. Irony intended. إن الذين يلحدون في آياتنا لا يخفون علينا أفمن يلقى في النار خير أم من يأتي آمنا يوم القيامة اعملوا ما شئتم إنه بما تعملون بصير. Indeed, the ones who distort in our verses are not hidden from us. The ones who abuse our revelations are not hidden from us. First, to the disbelievers who used to make when the Quran was recited, to the noise the disbelievers used to make when the Quran was recited, or those who twist the meaning of the Quranic passages to take them out of context. This is a bit harder, because sometimes when people are discussing or talking about the contents of the Quran, how do we know who's correct and who's wrong? If two people are genuinely trying to understand as much as possible, how do you know which one's twisting and which one isn't? You know? This might make more sense, but simplify. Those who distort in our verses. Just those who distort the verses. Yeah, I don't know what exactly that means, but those who are essentially twisting it, maybe, I don't know. They're not hidden from us. And then it says, then he is the one who is cast in the fire better, or the one who comes secure on the day of resurrection, secure to the fire? Why is there always a comparison? Why is there a comparison to the one who's going to the fire versus not? Like, I mean, I kind of get it, but I kind of don't get it. You know what I mean? I'm having a bit of a dumb day, so I don't know. And do what you will. Indeed, he is of what you're doing, all seeing. Certainly seeing of all what you do. إن الذين كفروا بالذكر لما جاءهم وإنه لكتاب عزيز. Indeed, those who disbelieve of the reminder from when it comes to them, indeed, it surely is a book that is mighty. Now here they say the reminder is one of the names of the Quran. Almost. The Quran is a part of the reminders. The reminders are more than the Quran. The reminders are the Quran, the Torah, the Injil, and the Zabur, which Torah being obviously the easiest one to translate. Injil is the one that's a bit unclear what it is. Some people think it's the Gospel. Some people think it's something else. Al-Zabur is the David Psalms. All of them are called the Dhikr, that which was revealed through messengers, I believe. But I'm not sure. But either way, the Quran is a part of the Dhikr. It is not another name for the Dhikr. Or the Dhikr is not another name for the Quran, because that's a very shallow understanding of what that word means. وَإِنَّهُ لَكِتَابٌ عَزِيزٌ. It is a mighty book. It is the scripture that is mighty. لا يأتيه الباطل من بين يديه ولا من خلفه تنزيل من حكيم حميد. It is not coming to it any falsehood from before his hands, or nor from behind it. A revelation from the Lord that is praiseworthy and wise. It cannot be proven false from any angle. It does not come to it falsehood from before it or from behind it. Yeah, I kind of understand it. And this is kind of why they're thinking this is talking about the Quran, because that is the belief of the Muslims that this is the case. I have not touched the Torah, so I do not know what's in the Torah. I do not know if there is a problem with it or not. I definitely have problems with the Bible, but I do not think that the Bible is a word from God. It's divinely inspired. It's not divinely written. Now, I do not know anything about the Torah to be able to answer that. But just what the Quran has told us. Torah, Injil, Quran, Zabur. At least. There might be more. We, the Muslims, obviously believe that the Quran is the only one that hasn't changed. But, yeah, I do not know enough to be able to give a response to that. But this indicates, at the very least, that the Quran is a part of that which cannot be changed. Is there more than the Quran? Possibly. We'll see. ما يقال لك إلا ما قد قيل للرسل من قبلك إن ربك لذو مغفرة وذو عقاب أليم. There's the word punishment. Because Safa used to always say adab is not iqab. Iqab is punishment. Adab is not punishment. It's torment. But like, either way you're suffering. It is not said to you except what was said before to what was said to messengers from before you. Indeed, your Lord is the possessor of forgiveness and the possessor of a punishment that is painful. A penalty that is painful. Iqab is punishment. Adab is torment. Do with that what you will. ولو جعلناه قرآنا أعجميا لقالوا لولا فصلت آياته أعجمي وعربي قل هو للذين آمنوا هدى والشفاء والذين لا يؤمنون في آذانهم وقر وهو عليهم عمى وهو عليهم عمى أولئك ينادون من مكان بعيد. And if we had made it a Quran in a foreign language, they would have said, oh, if it had only been explained its verses in that foreign language and as an Arabic language as well. Why wouldn't it do both? Yeah, see, I don't understand this. Very clear what a non-Arabic revelation for an Arabic audience. But there's like the connection thing. If it was explained in detail in a foreign language and an Arabic one. أعجمي وعربي. Like, I don't understand why it's Arabic, non-Arabic revelation and an Arabic revelation if it was only done in foreign language. Like, either way, I think it's just saying that they're going to complain regardless. If it wasn't coming out in Arabic, they would have said, why didn't it come out also in Arabic? And say those who believe in a guidance and a healing, and those who do not believe, it is for those who believe in a guidance and a healing, and those who do not believe, in their ears is a deafness. It's waqar is a wax. In their ears is a wax that kind of prevents them from hearing, and upon them, وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِمْ عَمَى. And it is for them blindness, and blindness to it. And they're blind to it. And those who أُولَٰئِكَ يُنَادُونَ مِن مَكَانٍ بَعِيدٍ. Those are being called from a place that is far. Now, they apparently had to explain a faraway place, why being called from a faraway place, so that they neither hear nor understand the call. I would think that everyone on this planet knows what everyone that can hear, I'm sorry for the hearing disabled, knows what it sounds like. There's something that is far away that you can't really hear very well. Anyway, they had to add that explanation nonetheless. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ فَاخْتُلِفَ فِيهِ وَلَوْلَا كَلِمَةٌ سَبَقَتْ مِنْ رَبِّكَ لَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ وَإِنَّهُمْ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّنْهُ مُرِيبٍ. And certainly we gave Moses the book. We were just talking about the book. What was given to Moses? The Torah. But there are disputes arose in it. And if it had not been for a word that it proceeded from your Lord, then the matter would have been settled. Had it not been for a prior decree from your Lord, the differences would have been settled all at once. That he would delay the judgment until the hereafter. I don't know. I feel like if there was a word from your Lord above, it would have been settled for them. But it was not the case. If
it had not been, if it had been for a word that had proceeded from your Lord, then it would have been settled between them about what they used to argue. But God didn't want to do that. وَإِنَّهُمْ لَفِي شَكٍّ مِّنْهُ مُرِيبٍ, and they are about it, doubting quite intensely. Yeah. من عمل صالحا فلنفسه ومن أساء فعليها وما ربك بظالم للعبيد. Whoever does the good deed, righteous deed, then it is for their soul, and whoever does evil, then it is for his soul again. And your Lord is not unjust to his slaves. Yeah, that's the last verse for today. Thank you all for watching. صدق الله العلي العظيم. I will catch you next week. مع السلامة. Bye.